Hi, class. I just wanted to take a moment to go through our midterm assignment. I've been receiving some emails about it, asking some very important questions, and I'm realizing I should probably go over the assignment in great detail if possible. Um, so I'm going to do that right now, and I hope everyone has a chance to watch this video. And if anyone has questions, please feel free to email me, and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. Okay, let's start. So this is our midterm assignment. It's due at the end of week 6. We are just starting week 4. Another reason I'm bringing this up right now is a reminder for everyone to start working on this assignment immediately. And I can't stress that enough, folks, that this assignment is a lot of work. I'm not going to candy coat that. So the sooner you start, the better. And you can work on it in phases. So I'll talk about that as we move forward. So let's just go over everything here. The description. Using Adobe Animate CC, you will create a 20 to 30 second long linear animation. Okay, so this is important, and I am grading you on the time. If your animation falls under 20 seconds, you will have marks deducted, and if you go over 30 seconds, you'll have marks deducted. Okay, so stay within this 20 to 30 second zone. The animated piece should depict a short, meaningful, and coherent storyline related to your chosen theme. So what do I mean by that? Well, I need there to be a bit of a story. There needs to be a little story. It may not be the deepest story ever, and it may not be the most complex story ever, but it still needs to be a bit of a story, okay? And there needs to be some meaning, and it needs to make sense. I need to watch it and say to myself, yeah, I get it. That's great. That's a good little short story. Okay. But the story's up to you. Okay, so I'm leaving that all up to you, other than the theme. Okay, we'll go over that in a second. So you must use a minimum of 2 main characters. So let's talk about that in terms of our themes. So you need to choose one of these 2 themes. Superheroes. So you need to create a superhero of your own. You're not using a superhero that exists. Why? Because you are drawing this character yourself. You are creating this character from scratch. You're not using clip art, and you're not using characters that already exist. So no DC, Comics, Marvel, whatever. This is all up to you. And I'm going to talk about drawing in a second, because some of you may have just gotten a stressful thought of, oh, I don't know how to draw. I'm not a very good drawer. Well, I'll talk about that in a second, okay? So you can choose superheroes, create a superhero of your own invention, come up with a concept involving your character, and build a story around it. And again, we're just looking at 20 to 30 seconds here, folks, so chances are it won't be a complex story. If you can pack in a complex story within 30 seconds, awesome. Go for it. But it can be something simple. So superheroes, it can be a superhero that comes and saves someone who's in need of help and needs to maybe battle someone, the enemy. And then our superhero saves the person in help, and then that's it. That's the story. So it can be as simple as that. The other theme you can choose is medieval. So create your animation based on a story set in medieval times. So I've had students ask me if they can use a fictitious medieval time like Game of Thrones. Yep, they can. As long as it's not Game of Thrones. You can just create your own fictitious medieval themed story. All right. So choose one of those themes, and you need at least 2 main animated characters. So for the superhero example, and this is just an example, it could be your superhero and the villain. For medieval, it could be a knight and a king. These are your two main characters that you can use in your animation. All right, the first phase of this assignment is pre-production. This is what every one of you needs to start immediately. Like as soon as you're done watching this video, I'm hoping you're watching it within week 4. You need to start pre-production now. All right, what is pre-production? You will be asked to submit a plan of the development of your concept. This documentation must be submitted to the instructor in digital format using Blackboard along with your final product. Your submission must include, these are very important things here, folks, and you're getting graded on these 4 things: theme, concept, storyboard, and character design. I've attached with the assignment examples of these 4 things. So let's take a look. Here's an example. So this is an example of 3 of those 4 requirements. What the subject is, then the description, the concept. So just within 1 paragraph, that's all you need, you're going to write out the concept of your animation. This is just the beginnings of your planning. This can be, it doesn't have to be too detailed, folks. It can just be a paragraph that just describes in general terms what's going to happen in your animation. Then we also see our character design. These are 2 characters. Okay, so this is 3 of the 4 requirements. We get the topic, the concept, and our character sketches. Here's another example. This is someone who wrote it on a piece of paper and scanned it. I also accept photographs of paper. So if you're completing this all on paper by hand, you can scan it or take a picture of it and include it in your final project folder. So here's the concept, prison cats, synopsis, what's it is about, and then our 2 characters. Here's another example, all typed out. So what's the subject? Social networking. And the synopsis, and then our character design. And here's also the storyboard. So this is the 4th thing that you're being graded on. It's the storyboard. And all a storyboard is just a rough sketch of what is going to be happening in your animation. And it's supposed to look similar to what it's going to end up looking like in terms of the framing. So, for example, this first scene is kind of the intro scene of the animation. We see a hand washing the board here, scrubbing words off a wall. Then we see our character opening, filling his walls. He leaves the house. This is interesting. So our character, we see words writing on the wall. Our character opens the door and leaves the house. Then we see Andy, the character, walking along, and so on. And there's little descriptions of each frame. Again, this can be totally rough. I just need to see that you've planned it out. So this particular storyboard is 4, 8, 12 frames. And that's usually on average what you're going to find with a 30-second animation. It'll probably be between somewhere in 9 and 12 frames. So I need to see that you've put some planning and some thought into this. Okay, so this pre-production module is the first thing you need to work on. And if I'm going to be frank again, it's easy points. It's easy marks. Okay? Let's see how much it's worth. Pre-production is 20% of the grade, so 20 out of 100. That is easy marks, folks. You need to complete these 4 things: theme, concept, storyboard, and character design. All right, so get on that. So let's talk about the rest of the assignment. Oh, also I give you this link to storyboard templates that are blank. You can also use, if you want to do it digitally, you can use PowerPoint. PowerPoint is a great storyboard making tool because essentially it's just frames. So you can include a PowerPoint presentation or convert it to a PDF. Okay, let's talk about the final product. So once you've got all your planning done, you can start building it in Animate. After the pre-production material has been completed, you will then bring your story to life by creating, animating, and compositing the scenes outlined in the storyboard. Use a combination of the graphic, animation, and special effect techniques covered in class to tell your story in a visually attractive and engaging manner. Your animation must incorporate the following mandatory techniques: looping backgrounds, motion path animations, and an audio track. So these are 3 requirements. So we're going to learn about looping backgrounds in week 5. Motion paths. So you've already learned how to create motion path animations. So you're going to use them a lot in this assignment. And also bringing some audio into it. Okay, here's how you're being evaluated. You've got your pre-production, which I've already gone through. Overall impression. The project as a whole should come together as an engaging animated piece that uses 2D animation techniques and principles, graphics, and sound to depict a coherent story based on the material submitted for the pre-production stage. A successful completion of the assignment should produce a potential portfolio piece. You want to be proud of this, folks. That's why you should spend the needed time to complete it. So, what's my overall impression of it? Am I seeing you use all the techniques you've learned in class? Am I seeing you use graphics techniques that you've learned in other classes? What's the sound like? Does the sound fit? Things like that. I have looked at assignments where I go, wow, that was great. I can tell that someone put a lot of effort and time into it. And then there's assignments that I see where I can tell someone spent maybe an hour on it. An hour will not do for this one, folks. Okay, visuals. The graphic treatment and development level of the characters, environment, and special effects should match the nature of the story and add aesthetic value to the piece. All right, so let's talk about whether we're all artists or not. I am not a visual artist. I'm not a very good visual artist. I am good at graphic design. I'm good at layout. I'm good at UI design. But if someone asked me right now to draw my 2 characters for this assignment, to be honest with you, I would probably draw something that looked close to stick figures. And I've had students ask me who really are not that good at drawing, ask me if they can use stick figures. And the answer is yes, but there's a big but here. I want you all to use it creatively. How can you make these stick figures stand out? What are there things that can happen to these stick figures that actually reflect the way it looks? So let's just say you had a stick figure walking along, with a black outline and a white background. Maybe that stick figure, the body of it opens up and a monster flies out, and it suddenly goes above and beyond the stick figure nature. And that's just me kind of thinking of an idea on the spot. So I want you to have fun with it. And if you are fairly good at drawing, then definitely take a bit of time to draw out your characters and create them. Now, another thing to keep in mind, since you're going to be having your characters walking and maybe even talking, you need to make sure you're breaking down the character graphics appropriately. So for example, if your character is maybe waving its arms and walking, you need to make sure that the legs and the parts of the legs are all separate, and the arms and the parts of the arms are all separate. So in the exercise we're doing this week, in week 4, you'll see an example of that in both exercises, where the parts of our character are broken out and can be manipulated separately from the rest of the body. So you need to take a bit of time to do that and convert each of those parts into symbols so they're easy to work with. Okay, so that's visuals, folks. And I want everything to be yours. So I'm not allowing you to use pre-made graphics from the internet. I need you to use your own graphics. And again, just do what you can. You know, it can be a background that's really simple, just really simple, with a couple buildings in the background, or a very simple looking castle. I just want it to be yours. Or if you're a photographer, you can go out and take some pictures and bring those photos into Animate, and then create an animation over top of it. That could be something too. So if you are using for sound and music, it just needs to be open source or royalty-free sound effects and music. And you can easily look those up on Google. All right. And then we have requirement compliance. So the final product should demonstrate an understanding of the assignment description, themes, length, media, deadline, etc. So did you hit all the requirements? Was it 20 to 30 seconds long? Did you pick a theme that is required? Did you draw everything yourself? Did you meet the deadline? And then our final evaluation is technical skill. So can I see that you have executed examples of all the mandatory animation techniques required? So, which are looping backgrounds, motion path animations, and adding audio. Are you using all that? And are you showing me that you can technically do it? And have you added a level of complexity that maybe we didn't see in class? Something that you've discovered and worked on your own. Innovation and an ability to find solutions beyond class material will be taken into consideration. All right, this is due Friday, June 19th, by the end of the day. So that is coming up I'm making this video on June 1st, Monday, June 1st. So that's coming up, folks. Less than 3 weeks away. So what else can I show you? Okay, so I'd like to end this video by showing you a finished example by a student who has taken this course before and received a very good mark on this assignment. So let's have a look, and I'm hoping you can hear the sound on the video. Okay. So we missed some of the sound there. let's watch it again, see if we can hear all the sound. Okay, so that's a really good example of something that I'm looking for. And that is a student who really went above and beyond and took a lot of time to create the animation. So there you go. I hope this has helped everyone, and I hope, if you have any questions, please send them to me, and I hope everyone has watched this. I'm going to post an announcement right now about it and upload it to YouTube. Okay, so again, good luck everyone, and please do not leave this to the last minute.